Welcome to the Self-Awareness and Self-Compassion Podcast, formerly known as the Full Spectrum Feeling Podcast. I'm your host, Blaise Schwaller, life coach, mom, and former tattoo artist. I help people heal their past, speak their truth, and love the lives that they're living now. Join me here every week for conversations on how to live an imperfect but fully engaged life that embraces all the feels so that you can stretch into your best life while enjoying the you that's here right now. The past few weeks, I've been on this binge, really, of reconnecting with all of the friends that I couldn't hang out with in person over the prior year. And, extended visits with family. My brother got to come up from Virginia, so a 12-hour drive, and hang out for a weekend. Reconnecting with friends that I've been able to have a few phone calls or Zoom calls with, but to finally hang out and have a party and share a meal and do just human, wonderful things. And it's made me think about what we've gained through having the year that we did. And what is there that we can look to that could be a benefit? Because I think, for me anyway, it makes me feel hopeful about life and happy when I look at where was the gain? What was the good thing? Like, even if there was something bad, how have I grown? How has the world grown because of this? And what could we really maximize based on even a crappy experience? And I have to say, for me personally, a year of isolation was not so crappy. I'm pretty introverted. I really gain a lot of energy through having time by myself. I crave it and I need it sometimes. But I also love my friends. I love humanity. I love people. And this year, it's really made me not take any of those connections for granted. And in a way, I've been a person who always wants to connect others. Like, I'm the friend who makes sure all the other friends know what's going on with each other and can get together, and I'll host the party and, be the messenger if I need to be, and make sure that people are connecting. It's who I am. I love that. And in that year where we couldn't physically get together, I was the one setting up these Zoom conferences and saying, hey, let's have this be a weekly get together. Let's get together and see how each other are doing so that we can be on top of it and not lose touch. And I'm really glad that I did that. But it made me realize that even though typically I'm the person who does that, even I took it for granted. That of course I'd always be able to see someone again. That of course, even if we can't get together this month, or next year, sometime in the next 5 years, we're getting together again. And, COVID year has been cruel and it's been tough, and the whole world has been suffering and people have died. And as I've watched my friends cope with losses of family members and just friends, and seen that it's not always true. We don't always get next year. Maybe there isn't always another time we're going to be able to get together. It made me feel really sad and, wistful. I wish I had connected a little bit more. I want to feel that connection more. And how can I create it now that there's this opportunity that I can, that it's safer, that, we're vaccinated and the extended family is, and we can get together without worrying about my daughter catching it because she's too young to get vaccinated. There's all of this stress, all of this craziness. And to finally relax enough that we could finally do the thing and have a party. And my goodness, how beautiful it was to have such a simple thing. And it's so simple, like it's not even massive amounts of food or craziness. It was, we're going to get together and have chicken and potato salad and fruit salad. And I sat there all day and I felt so content and so happy just to be near these people that I care about, my family, that I haven't had a chance to just sit near and have a meal with in a year. And it made me go, wow, like there's so many of these precious moments that we take for granted and we don't notice how precious they are until they were, put on hold or taken away. So it makes me want to live my life more aware. And of course, it's impossible to always be aware. Like, dear God, just this morning, I'm like, eat your breakfast. Here you go. Like, just eat your breakfast so we can get on with the day. And yet I'm like, man, to be able to sit and have breakfast with my kid, that's beautiful. I won't have this forever. Why would I want to rush through any of these breakfasts? And yet I know I'm going to. There's so much complicated counter feeling stuff that happens in a life. And I find it just incredible. It's incredible that I can both appreciate and love and be like, wow, what a precious moment it is that I can make strawberries for my child. And at the same time be like, eat your freaking strawberries and stop so I can go get my work done. Like, you need to get this done and we're in a hurry. And that all of it is valid. All of it is living a life. I think it makes me realize how much like we've always been living. We've always been doing the best that we can. We're always engaging to the level that we're able to in that moment. And each of these moments is so important in its own way, whether we're recognizing it or not. And I like it more when I recognize it because it leads to this feeling of contentment. When you realize, like, even though I'm having like a shitty time standing in line at the grocery store, like I just don't want to be standing here and what a pain in the ass. It's realizing like, wow, I'm in a line in a grocery store and it's fine. How awesome that I'm getting my groceries. Like I'm finding contentment even in the frustration, contentment even in the rush, realizing that all of these moments, they're just going to keep on going. There is no arriving. And for a while, I guess, I thought that there is some moment in which we arrive. And I thought that was the thing to aspire to, is like achieving all that you can be and being aware of every moment. And like, you know what? It's never going to happen. I will never be aware of every moment. I won't have a pinnacle of like, oh, I suddenly understand life, the universe, and everything. Haha. I'm not going to. Nobody is going to. And that's okay. It's not for me. For me is to just be in it. And this is my experience. And all of my experience is fine. Whether I'm enjoying it or not, it's perfect. It's okay if I'm a miserable human. It's okay if I'm a really happy person. When I meet miserable people, it's funny because I'm starting to look at them and go like, wow, they're allowed to just be miserable people. And I can be okay with that. If I don't have any urge to change them, it's like they don't have to have any effect on me. It's like it just rolls off. I'm like, oh, they're just angry. Okay. And it just takes the fire out of the situation. It makes life more copable. Copable? Is that a word? I'm more able to cope in my life and in the experiences that I'm having. That's some freedom right there, is realizing that other people get to experience what they're experiencing. And I'll thank my husband for teaching me a lot about that, is, you can feel what you feel and other people can feel what they feel. And we don't get to invalidate that. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you can't tell me not to feel upset if I'm upset, because that doesn't work. Like, it doesn't change how I'm feeling. So you can't tell me not to. I was like, oh yeah, okay. He's like, but a lot of times when you're trying to comfort people, you're like, well, don't be sad. It's not that bad. And he's like, well, for me, it is that bad. And I'm like, oh, I see that. And it's let me go, okay, when I'm having an emotional experience, it is what it is for me, and no one can take that away. And I'm experiencing life the way that I'm experiencing it, and that's fine. And if I'm not asking to change it, then don't change it. And now I look at other people going through their stuff, and I'm like, oh, they're going through their stuff, and it's okay. And I don't need to do a damn thing about it. Unless they're asking for help with it, in which case, absolutely, sure, let's do that. But I thought it would be about helping other people to feel through their stuff, but it's actually given me an ability to be with people feeling stuff. It wasn't what I thought it was. And when you allow other people to just be how they are and have their experience, one, it gives you the ability to have your experience and be completely okay with it too. But your experience of their experience has a whole different flavor. You're not worried about it being about you anymore. Maybe that's a gift of this past year, is realizing so much of what's going on in the world, it's not about you. Sometimes stuff just happens and you're just living your life and then you deal with it the best you can. And we've just watched everyone deal with life the best that they can this year in a way that we haven't been able to watch in the past. We've always been doing it. We've always been dealing the best that we can. And now we realize that, yeah, that's what's happening. We're all just hanging in there. We're on this boat ride. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Nobody does. And we're all just doing the best that we can. To me, it just makes me appreciate people so much more. I'm like, wow, I'm just so impressed at the way you've chosen to get through this crappy year or whatever crappy situation you're dealing with. And I have such admiration and compassion for people in a greater sense, like maybe a more expanded sense than I had before this year. And that's great. It actually is nice to me to realize that no matter how expanded I feel about other people, I'm still going to feel even more impressed with them in another year. And in a few more years after that, like there's always more growing to be had, and I'm going to keep learning and other people are going to keep learning and it's going to blow me away forever. Awesome. Awesome. That makes life pretty damn worth it. No matter what's going on, we're getting through it. What has this year made you aware of? What have you gained? Have you gained just such a sense of appreciation for the ones who are able to really stand by you through it, and appreciation for some of the things that, you used to have that you didn't have for a while, and then maybe you're getting back again? Everybody lost something. Everyone lost something the last few years. And how have you grown through that loss, with that loss? Because I don't think we go beyond it. Loss happens, and it's not something that you just get over, but it's something that you incorporate into yourself and you keep growing. How has that changed you? How has it expanded the way that you feel or the way that you see the world? And just in this moment, can you have compassion for everything that you've gone through and everything that you've witnessed in yourself and others? How they've been there for you, how you've been there for them. Just the incredible amount of confusion and suffering that people have been through and are going through. It's incredible. It's incredible. I think I've gained just an awareness of how amazing life is, how resilient humanity is, and how capable we are of handling anything. And also an acceptance that, we don't always have to handle it great in order to get through it. We still get through it. It's okay. And that there's always this opportunity to keep expanding and trying again. As long as we're alive, we can keep trying. And that's pretty awesome. I hope that for every single one of you, this year is an improvement, that you experience something lovely, and that you're able to just have some joy, some unexpected joy, some wonderful connection built in, experienced in your life right now, coming at you, going forward. And that, that ability to reconnect, to be able to bring your passion forward, to, be with the people that you care about and that you love, really soothes and nourishes your soul and helps your life just be juicy and awesome and wonderful. I wish that for you now and always. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.
Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and share it with someone you love, and leave us a review. You can learn more and get some self-compassion tips and tricks by visiting coachwithblaze.com, where you can sign up to get my free booklet on overcoming anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, and burnout. I'm sending you so much appreciation and love, and I'll see you next time.